Welcome back to MTC Health and Wellness. Tonight we are talking gut health and restoring that forest of bacteria, that microbiome that is in your gut that we think we understand, but in truth, it's kind of like the galaxies out there that we haven't explored. So we are kind of talking about how antibiotics can really play a role in our gut health and thus in the rest of our health. So they say that 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So that's definitely going to have a huge impact on our brain fog, on our pain, on our immune system, on our inflammation. And so antibiotics can really throw all of that off. And so how do we work to restore it after having to take them? My family recently had to take it after having the flu, just after Christmas. And in my mind, as a health coach, I'm wondering, okay, how can I help them continue to have good health and try to knock down autoimmunity? My son has type 1 diabetes. And so and it's this forefront in my mind right now. And I just want to share with you what I've learned, what I'm researching, what I'm reminding myself and my family of as we work to help restore their uh, gut and their stomachs post having antibiotics. So there are definitely things that you can do both during and after to really help. So just as a reminder, my name is Sandy. I run and own MTC Health and Wellness. It is a functional health space where we give hope and help and answers to women who are tired, overwhelmed, struggling with gut issues, struggling with just surviving day to day instead of really being who you feel you want to be, and in my opinion, my Christian view, who God has called us to be. These things can really get in our way, and I want to come alongside you, and I want to inspire you and encourage you, and I want to really give you tips to help you thrive instead of survive. So here we are. We've taken the antibiotics. So our gut is made up of many things. Okay, and what I'm sharing with you tonight is from years of struggling with my own health issues. So I have personal experience, and then years of researching and learning through as a functional health coach, having had access to doctors and researchers, and having had celiac autoimmunity for the last 6 years, and really working to restore my stomach. Because I looked like I had swollen a basketball after every time that I ate after I had my last kiddo. And I was so tired and hurting and dizzy. And there wasn't medication for me. And I'm kind of grateful for that. I had to go find a functional practitioner of my own and learn how to help heal my body with food and sleep and proper movement at the proper time. And so um, what I have learned is we have a forest and we want the most diverse forest in our stomach that we can get. So, how do we make it more diverse? Well, we eat a wide variety of foods, maybe eat seasonally. Um, we eat fiber. We eat prebiotics. We eat probiotics. Okay. But the cool thing is the fiber can help both of those. We want to um, get the right amount of protein, the right amount of minerals and nutrients to help restore your gut lining and help knock down that leaky gut. That's a term that's everywhere. The truth is, it can come on very fast and it can go off very fast, kind of depending on who you are and how your system is doing. When I was first diagnosed with celiac, I probably had chronic leaky gut for a long time. I know I'm getting a handle on it now because I feel so much better. So we have a forest and we want to work on eating a wide variety of foods. We want to work on eating the fiber and we want to think about adding foods that are fermented. So the sauerkrauts, the yogurts, the kefirs. I can share videos on how to make that yourself at home. I became so into having your own fresh dairy that I actually have my own dairy cow now, and the probiotics in that milk and the probiotics that I make through the yogurt, I know have made a huge difference. We all don't have a cow in the backyard, so how do we do that, right? So I encourage making yogurt yourself, getting the Greek yogurts, getting the low sugar, right? Be careful, but don't get sugar free. So that's ideally you would get, kind of the plain Greek yogurt and then be flavoring it with fruit. So then you're adding blueberries, which you're adding antioxidants, you're adding fiber, same with strawberries, whatever, bananas, however you want to flavor it. To make it good, you want to be eating that consistently. So one thing that I went back and researched was a protocol that I sat under, his name is Tom Mycraft, and I sat under him as a Lyme professional, a critical care doctor. And his protocol was basically billions of probiotics a day. I get asked all the time, what's a good probiotic? What's a good probiotic? And his theory is to stack them with different kinds of antibiotics, especially if you're on them long term. Ideally, we wait till the the antibiotics are done. And then even, through that, you can be doing the prebiotic tea like burdock tea, you have ursi, dandelion, there's all sorts of different teas and foods that are called prebiotics that you can work on increasing. Bananas, avocados, homemade butter has short chain fatty acids that can help to decrease the inflammation and help, because the good bacteria has kind of been knocked off. So we're not getting as many short chain fatty acids. We're not getting the digestion help. Okay. So good bacteria is going to help us to digest food. It's going to give us short chain fatty acids to help decrease inflammation. It's going to create healthy pathways from our stomach to our brain to help make serotonin and help make the melatonin for sleep, but also antioxidant support. Good bacteria is going to support the gut lining versus if we have an overgrowth of the opportunistic or bad bacteria, that's going to increase inflammation. And the pathway from your gut to your brain is actually going to kind of rewire a little bit, and it's going to take a different pathway that is less efficient and creates inflammation in the process and doesn't typically give us the end result that we want. It's a fairly complicated process, obviously, but in our stomach, we create the building blocks for the progesterone, the estrogen, the testosterone, the serotonin, the melatonin, all these hormones that we need to thrive and to feel good. Because here's the deal, our body is not just one thing. It's not just our stomach after an antibiotic, right? After an antibiotic, that forest is struggling and there may be a little more inflammation. The digestion, right? How many times does it give us diarrhea? We know the digestion's lacking for at least a short time. So we want to work on, like I said, probiotic stacking, billions of probiotics if you can. I have learned that the antibiotics, and we feel this, we see this, but the antibiotic pill is going to increase the likelihood of fungus growing. So, which is already there, right? It's part of a healthy gut if it's in check. So is parasites and worms and all the things. I know that's scary, but it's about the good bacteria keeping everything else in check. And I learned a lot about that through my raw milk, because the raw milk has good bacteria versus when we pasteurize it, we lose all that good, amazing stuff. And that good bacteria goes a long way to keeping the not so good bacteria in, right? Like my cow often has poop on her. I got to clean it off, but it's not sterile, and so that not good bacteria is in there too, but the good bacteria and some of the other things in there helps to keep it clean. So if I leave that on the counter, it kind of turns into yogurt and tastes maybe a little sour, but it's not going bad. So and it's kind of like, we're cleaning up the neighborhood. If you have a good clean neighborhood, it's going to help keep the bad out, right? And so that's what our good bacteria does. And so if it's not there, and if it's not there in a diverse population, our health is suffering from, and it's increasing the inflammation, it's increasing the brain fog, it's increasing the burden on your liver, which is then affecting your hormones, affecting your blood sugar regulation, increasing the toxic load in the rest of your bloodstream, making you feel yucky, but also just making your basic cells not working as good as they should. And so it's all related. So what is the approach we've talked about a lot of things toward helping to restore our gut post antibiotics. So start with the prebiotics, get in the bananas, the avocados, the cucumbers, the sweet potatoes, um, the squashes. Try to eat the skins if you can. And then obviously wash them real good. Try to buy organic when you can. Following the dirty dozen and the clean 15. Look that up. It's really helpful to know, that dirty dozen, we want that to be organic whenever we can. So we are working on increasing those foods. We're being careful with the processed foods. We're being careful with the sugar, right? Because if we're taking the antibiotics, the fungus is already likely to increase. So if we are eating a ton of sugar or processed sugar or drinking that, that's going to increase your likelihood, which is going to give you the itchy, the rashes, the more brain fog, headaches, toenail fungus. It it doesn't feel good. So I'm trying to think of other symptoms off the top of my head. So really, real quickly, if I can, I want to show you, say you've had antibiotics or say you've got some stomach issues going on. How can we figure out what's going on? Well, I'll give you one of my most favorite tests that I really like to start with. If somebody can't do the mineral testing with me, if someone can't do the full comprehensive lab blood work, or the hormone Dutch test that we all love, right? We don't know want to know where that progesterone and that estrogen is and where that cortisol is during the day. All amazing, really helpful stuff. I have had many clients just do the stool test and work with me for a few months to work on getting the right foods, getting a good night's sleep, but also getting daytime rest. You're basically building these daily habits. You're building a foundation to give your body what it needs to reset, to heal, to recover. And the stories are absolutely out of this world amazing as far as the transformations. Now, the clients that really focus on the gut typically have had positive hormone changes too, because one affects the other. As we clean up the gut, we've got less junk, less getting in the way of our brain communicating to our ovaries and balancing the hormones, balancing the cycle. But also, your daily routine is also balancing your daily cycle. It's balancing your hormones as we work together to get the right foods, the sleep, the movement, the stress reduction. Busy ladies, we're going to build this routine that is doable for you, and it's going to serve you lifelong. All right. So we're going to run off to here. If I can get it to work, we'll see. Here we go. All right. So this is my personal test. So there is no sharing of personal information here except my own. And of course, I hit the wrong button. So we're going to do that again. All right. So here we have my stool test. This was done years ago. And so, to be honest, I'd love to do it again. This is what I want my annual checkup to be, is a stool test, maybe a Dutch hormone test. But I want to kind of take a look and see what's going on. So this first page is something that a medical doctor would kind of look at and make sure there's no major pathogens going on. So one thing to just know here, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a functional diagnostic nutritional practitioner. Okay. So I help people find answers in functional testing and build the lifestyle to help support it. And so for sure, I will typically refer folks to their medical doctor when they're doing this test with me, and we can all kind of work together. But just need you to know that none of this is medical advice. And for that, you want to be seeking your medical professional, especially if you are on supplement or if you are on medications. So this is what I've learned and what I've dealt with. So had some E. coli going on. Because this E number, it's not, the whole number's not in red, but also this E number is what we look at. It's just below the range, but probably significant to some inflammation, even some UTIs I had going on. It's very interesting. All this correlates to different symptoms. And so it takes a look at this H. pylori bacteria. This is like an upstream thing that happens in our stomach, throws off our stomach acid, and then affects digestion, inflammation, gut bugs, all the way down. Because if our stomach acid isn't ideal, which can happen a lot with busy women whose thyroids are struggling, and maybe we aren't getting in the right nutrients, we want to consider some apple cider vinegar just before eating. Stomach acid is huge. And so if a person's having a lot of bloating and indigestion and that sort of thing, we really want to, people come to me and ask X, Y, and Z is going on. I said, let's do a stool test and let's test for this H. pylori because it has made a huge difference in myself and in so many clients. And we can treat it naturally if that's how you choose. If you've just had an antibiotic, I would hope that this is not super high still. And if it is, we definitely want to add some other treatments and maybe some other things to help make the antibiotics more effective. So then we have the normal. So we're looking at the forest. What does it look like? Well, I had a lot of good bacteria that was too high, which seems, hey, that's a good thing. But sometimes that can be problematic anytime we lose that balance of the kind of the good and the bad, if you will. But definitely a healing opportunity because it can also be inflammatory and throw off digestion. Then this is looking particularly at the big family, the big forest. What does it look like? Again, in range. Yay, that's a good thing. Okay, and then it looks at the not so good bacteria, which was also high, right? So it's like, oh, I could have had some SIBO going on here, but we're going to just focus on balancing the both by helping to get rid of some of these things that are high naturally with oregano oil and a protocol that we work together. And then we're going to work to restore them with the probiotics, the prebiotics, the diet, the sleep, the movement. All of those have an effect on these and on your sleep. Potential autoimmune triggers, fungi and yeast. I will tell you, just because this doesn't show up doesn't mean it's not there. It didn't show up in the little sample that we got to the tube and we got there. So much of this is not treating a paper, but through my training, it's learning to treat the history, which for me was a lot of constipation. It was a lot of fungus symptoms. And I had spent a long time, probably before this test, really being careful. In fact, I had over limited my diet for a while, which is surprising that my normal bacteria was so high. But it's about finding the balance, and working through the getting better digestion. But that's a long story. But anyway, just because it's negative doesn't mean it's not there. We're going to treat the symptoms in correlation with this. It's all about putting it all together. That's my job, is to put it all together and then help get the best kind of protocol and lifestyle routine for you. And so something else I really love about this test is it, of course, looks at worms and parasites. I'll be honest, it's not great at catching some of those. But if we take a few different samples before you send them in, it can be better at that. But it also takes a look at your digestion. Do you have fat in your stool that's not digested? What are your digestion enzymes looking at? And I'll tell you through my training, even though this number is not red, it is a problem. It is way too low. Then we have the B glucuronidase looking at liver function, and it can also be a clue for some estrogen dominance. We can make sure there's not blood in the stool, which would be an immediate, hey, go see your doctor. You have blood in your stool. Then we're looking at the secretory IgA, which I mentioned. We have 80% of our immune system in our gut. Mine was low. Not surprising with celiac, but also a huge issue. This means my bad gut bacteria, my parasites, toxins, viruses hanging out in there, that E. coli we saw at the top, they have the upper edge because my CA is not where it should be. And so this was something else, to be honest, that led me to take immunoglobulins, but then also why I'm milking my own cow, because from what I understand, I should be getting immunoglobulins from her, which with my celiac is huge, but for all of us is huge as well to balance that immune system, which I'm still working on. Isn't perfect, but it is so much better. And then it takes a look at your inflammation in your body as well. And then your anti-gliadin if you are reacting to gluten, which for me, it's interesting that this is here because I strictly avoid gluten, but our body can think that other things are gluten as well. So I did stay away from some of those foods for a while. And then I kind of came full circle. And I believe because we want a diverse forest, we want to try to eat a diverse diet with a lot of different foods. For instance, I still don't digest beans real well, but I still want to have them every once in a while because they're a good fiber, but I'm not going to eat them every day, all day. And so that's part of my story, but I hope that through this, you have some ideas on how to help your gut. Listen, if you're looking for more help, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help kind of dig into your past as far as what have your symptoms been, what have you been going through, and then do some functional testing to give some hope, some help, and some answers. That's the idea. And then build a life routine together. So we have the MTC Health and Wellness Tribe where we meet every month, and I work with you one to one after we kind of give some information like this, and then I stop recording and we can talk about where you're at, where you're struggling, how I can help you. So that's kind of the beginner step. All right. So if you think that's for you, make sure that you get a hold of me, you reach out to me, MTC health and wellness at gmail.com. Reach out to me and let me know, hey, I want to be a part of this health tribe. I want more help with my gut. And I will send a free Fuel Your Body guide right away and get you going in the emails, but then also set up a discovery call to kind of see how you're doing and if this tribe is right for you and if you're right for the tribe, right? All right. So if you like this video, is helpful at all, please share it, please like it, please subscribe. And I'm going to be doing these videos monthly for now and then increasing whenever I can. But I thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much.